Right, hi guys. So I absolutely love Taskmaster. It is one of my favourite things in the world. I started watching it several years ago, and I very, very quickly became just, you know, my favourite TV program, definitely. And yeah, I know way too much about it. I've seen every series at least once, and up until maybe the last two or three, I've seen them all at least twice. And certainly there are many that I've seen probably a double digit number of times at this point. Like if you were to ask me like who was on a particular series, I could tell you pretty much instantly. If you ask me who won a particular series, I could probably tell you pretty much instantly. I wouldn't be able to tell you things like how many points each person got or something. But generally speaking, if you were to say a particular task and a particular person, I think I could roughly describe what that person did most of the time. And yeah, I can't really put my finger on why I like it so much. I think it is a big part of it is the really just silliness element of it, the fact that it's genuinely ridiculous challenges, things that why is any of it important? And I think I do like that aspect of it, that sort of making you question why anything is happening. I quite like that about it, and also I think it's a very British show, insofar as in British humour is very much sort of being able to laugh at yourself, even more than laughing at other people, and that is something I really love about the show. The fact that it is not necessarily like humiliating, but it's very like, I guess, making a spectacle of yourself. Like you do it to be silly. Yeah, you do it to be able to like look at yourself and and think like, what the hell am I doing? Why have I done this? And obviously not all the time. Like people have silly moments. They also have very clever moments. They have like really like artistic moments and things like that. And it's just it's I think the fact that it's a mixed bag is really cool as well, because you can have people that you can see doing really well at one thing and then doing terribly at another, and you can have like really really genuinely really clever people, like some of the most clever and careful and neat like comedy writers, people that have produced these incredible shows that are so clever and with how they're made, and then, and then you get them to do a really basic thing, and they just fall to pieces and they just can't do it, and they like whether it's the lacking of the common sense or whatever, or just panicking or something, but it's so good. Like the best example of this is Paul Sinner, who was on Series 8. He is one of the chasers on the chase. He's one of the best quizzes in the world, and he came last in Series 8, partly just because it's a different way of thinking. And I think that is one thing. The show rewards people who think in like really different ways, and you get to see so many different approaches to the same challenge. And I think that's really really cool. The fact that so many people can have like completely different ideas about what the best way to do things is. And obviously I love the loopholes, the finding convenient ways around things, finding secret elements of the task. I love it when they set individual people tasks and keep that a secret. I love the fact that they have team dynamics and they have to get people to work together on stuff, and when that goes wrong it's just amazing. And yeah, again, this is something if you know me, I could absolutely just bang on about Taskmaster for ages. And every single time a new series starts, every single week immediately after watching it, I'd go and type in group chats or whatever. Oh, this episode is really really good. Everyone should go and watch it. It's like it's really funny and all of that. But I genuinely do think that, and especially the most recent, some of the most recent series, the recent spell they've been on, Series 18 to Series 21, which is the current one, have all been really really good. Like a lot better than I thought they were going to be, and it's because it's obviously they've done over 20 series now, so it's getting to the point where you kind of think, are they going to run out of tasks and things like that to do? Are they going to run out of ideas? Are they going to have to start like reusing things? Are they going to run out of like contestants as well? Because like a lot of the big names in British comedy have been on the show already now. But no, every single new series, it continues to surprise me, and I think that's another reason why I love it so much, because you get to know people that you would never have heard of otherwise. Like a couple of my favorites from recent series 20 had Phil Ellis, who I'd never heard of before, but he was incredible. I absolutely loved him on the show. Series 19 had Stevie Martin, who again I've never heard of, but I absolutely loved her. She was brilliant. And yeah, it's just incredible. And one of the things I've been working on I just sort of on and off for a while, is a book of Taskmaster quotes, because that does get brought up on the show every now and again if someone says something like really random or funny out of context. Sometimes Greg Davis will say, "Oh, that's one of the Taskmaster book of quotes" or whatever. For a while, what I did, I would rewatch a series all the way through and just make a note of basically any funny quotes, whether whether they were brought up or not. Just make a note of anything, and I haven't finished that. Obviously, I've got to get back to that. I also, at some point in the future, again, I don't know when this will be. It'll probably be ages from now, but I would love to start a Taskmaster specific YouTube channel, because I have genuinely tons of video ideas. I counted it up as like 50 or 60 at this point, I think. And there's just things like getting into like the script writing for that, filming the videos. I probably wouldn't have like my face in it, because I would have like a load of different shots of the show, because again, they're uploaded onto YouTube for free. And that's okay. So this is another thing, the fact that it's on Channel 4, and the Channel 4 streaming service is free in the UK, so that's pretty cool. And even if you're not in the UK, they upload the full episode videos onto YouTube for free, a little bit after they first air on the telly. But yeah, the fact that they're putting like full episodes online for free for pretty much anyone to view is just incredible. And I love the fact that they're doing that to make the show more accessible, because that's really, really good. But yeah, the point is, those episodes are up on up on YouTube, and they're free. So hopefully, if I were to take a couple of clips from them, that obviously not make that the only focus of the video, but hopefully that would count as like fair use and all of that. And I had an idea for, like, when talking about like a video topic, so let's just say like ranking all of the series in order, or doing like a tier list of the series, let's say, instead of just like having that be the video title, I figured what I could do is maybe have like a shot of a dark room, or like a candlelit room or something, and then I come to sit down at a desk, and you don't see my face, but there's like a task with a wax seal on the table, and I open it and I read the instructions, and it says rank all of the Taskmaster series, or put them in a tier list, or whatever. You have 30 minutes, or however long the video ends up being. Your time starts now. And then it cuts to me doing the voiceover. I think that would be so cool. And hopefully I have the time and the proper motivation to do that at some point, because it is just an idea at the minute. But yeah, like, part of the reason for that is just because there's so much I love about the show. There's so much that I would like, the fact that they can give sort of like a break, almost like a big break, to a lot of smaller comedians that otherwise like people wouldn't have heard of. The fact that it's an opportunity as well for some other people to take part in the show while like just being themselves and actually not in character, because that's something that contestants, people like Asim Chowdhury and John Kearns, are known in comedy circles for playing characters, but on the show they actually get to do stuff as themselves, and that's really cool as well. And yeah, and another thing as well, I have so much respect for Alex Horn, the creator, as well, because he made what I think is the single best decision in the show's history, which was before the show even aired. He chose to make himself the creator of the show, not the main guy, not the Taskmaster, not the main host or anything, because he knew he wasn't the right fit for that role. Obviously, it would be very easy for him, for coming up with all of the tasks, knowing what they are and setting out and like having some clever solutions for some and all of that, and making some of them really difficult. It would be very easy for him to then like judge them based on how he thinks they should be done, but he doesn't do that, because he knows he's not that kind of person. He's like a much more meek, a bit more awkward kind of personality, and it's way better for him to be the assistant, doing all of the scores, doing the jobs, like taking up the flack, from the actual Taskmaster, who's like a much more physically imposing, gets more easily angry kind of guy, and that just makes it so much more funny. And like I said, I have such a respect for that, because it makes the show it makes it feel so much more natural. Like if Alex was trying to like force himself to be this, not necessarily like intimidating, but more imposing presence, and more like judgmental guy, like, it just wouldn't work. But he knew that like he needed something else to make it work, and he's like, his vision, he's able to carry it out so well because it's just so perfect. And yeah, there's so much more specific stuff I could talk about how, like, the casting as well. The fact that for so many series, almost all of them, I would say genuinely, they managed to pick a set of five contestants who, not just like get on, but have like chemistry and like banter between them. The best example of this definitely is Series 7, which is my favourite series and the best series, without a question. The chemistry, the chemistry between the contestants in that series in the studio was just unparalleled. Like, they bounced off each other so well. It worked so well. The comebacks were great. The arguments were great. It was just so funny. And like, when I say arguments and like referencing people getting angry and things like that, it's obviously all in jest as well. That's the other thing that's nice, is even like when people get frustrated, or they find a like learn about the loophole or the workaround to the task that they didn't know at the time. Obviously people get angry and annoyed and frustrated in that, but it's not like actual anger. It's just that, like, oh my god, I can't believe that, or oh, that's so cool. Like, you can see in so many people when the loophole gets revealed, you can see so many people, like, their eyes get wide and they're just like, oh, that's really good. I think the point that best illustrates this, again, comes from Series 7, because of course it does. Was the very final filmed task was for the contestants to tie themselves up as securely as possible. And previously, earlier on in the episode, they'd been given a task that didn't have a definitive like end time, and it was when a siren sounded, they had to put on a boiler suit and lie flat on the ground. And they said in the task they didn't know when this was going to happen. It could be in any future task, so it was something they just had to try and remember. And of course, almost all of them forgot about it. And then in this tying themselves up task, halfway through the time, they had like 10 minutes. Halfway through the 10 minutes, the siren went off. So when they'd all like already started tying themselves up, they had to like untie themselves, put on the boiler suits, lie on the ground, and then go back and tie themselves up again with like 2 minutes left or something. And the first, when this was revealed to the audience, the first person they showed doing it was James Acaster, who, again, is one of my all-time favourite contestants on it, and one of my all-time favourite comedians as well. And the realisation on his face as he looked up and just went, oh shit. And then obviously like I think he tied his legs up or something by that point, so he had to try and like hop all the way to the boiler suit and like untie himself, and he was falling over and he was laughing at himself at the time in the VT. And then when they cut to him in the studio when they were talking about it, one of the things he said was, at the time I was pretty furious, but I was also thinking, oh, this will be good. And I really just think that sums up everything about the show, because it's designed to be like kind of infuriating for the contestants, because like the tasks are designed to be not quite possible, because that just makes it so much more entertaining to watch. And when you have a reveal like that, something that happens, there's multiple things in each series, where you have those reveals, and you think, oh, it just like blows your mind, or at least it did. I mean, it does for me. Like some of the how they come up with this stuff, I don't know, but it's just incredible. And I know this video is really, really long already for me, but that should tell you how much I like about this show and how much longer I could keep talking about it, which I'm not going to do. I'm going to save that for the YouTube channel that I eventually will create. Until then, I will just keep making loads and loads of Taskmaster references and telling everyone to watch Taskmaster, because it is the best TV show. Series 7 is the best series, and the finale, Series 7, Episode 10. Hopefully I haven't spoiled it too much already by talking about a couple of the tasks. Series 7, Episode 10 is the best episode. However, if you're going to watch it, just watch from the beginning, every single series, all the way through to the current episode. And that's why I'm making this video today, because there was an episode on earlier today, literally just a couple of hours ago. I just watched it as per usual. It was fantastic. Like I said, the last 3 or 4 series have all been just spectacular as well, even better than I thought they would be after all this time. And today it was the 200th episode, and that does include Champion of Champions and the New Year's special, which are like one-off episodes they have with just general celebrities, not necessarily comedians. But those are they're all really, really good, and I cannot recommend enough watching them all. And obviously I've been talking about just the UK version. I am aware there are other international versions. I've watched a little bit of the New Zealand and Australia versions. I do plan to watch more because those are quite good as well. But nothing beats the original. It's just I can't put into words how much I love it. I'd love to go and see a live studio recording of it one day. I've got all the merch. I've got a Series 7 portrait T-shirt. I've got the notebooks with the image of the task on the front. I've got the Taskmaster board game. It's just yeah, I just absolutely love it, and I know too much about it, but that's who cares. Like, I'll carry on making the references as long as I want. I don't care what other people think. I just really just love the show so much. I love absolutely everything about it, and I can't emphasize that enough. It's just perfect. Yeah, that's it. I've talked about this for way too long, but like I said, I could talk about it for so much longer. um, but yeah, I needed to go and sleep because I'm traveling for comp tomorrow. So yeah, that's it. Go and watch Taskmaster. It's brilliant, and talk to me about Taskmaster all you want because I could talk about it for literally years. So yeah, that's it for now. I'll see you tomorrow.